Well, thank you so much. Okay, so let's just do that.
Oh,
Okay. So hopefully you'll share a screen in a second.
hopefully.
This is the second challenge now.
It certainly is. It certainly is. And it's not playing ball. It is not playing ball. Just bear with me a second.
Is it Zoom not playing ball or your kit not playing ball?
I'm not sure which one it is, but
Zoom's been a bit up and down the last few days. So I understand.
And he's gone.
There he's gone.
Lost him.
Always the same, isn't it?
It didn't hang around. It just went.
Peter, while we're waiting for Marvin to come back, I was up your neck of the woods on Sunday.
You were you?
I was. I was at Chelsea Walsh. I was surprised you wasn't there.
What, the Jag that weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, we drove past it, and okay, so Carol Bailey's trying to get in as well. Bear with me, and I will. Let's just try this. There you go. On its way to her. Hopefully she's got it. Yes, it was 50 years of Jaguar E-types, I believe. So it was wall-to-wall Jags everywhere. And they were coming past through Clifton and down Pan Lane, which was lovely. And he looked at me and said, "You sure you don't want to have a cruise around it?" And I knew she wanted to get all the garden done. So I said, "You know what? Let's get the garden done." So that I must have. So, do you think I am proud? I must have done, really, don't you think? So hopefully I did, but we'll see. So Marvin,
There was a Lamborghini there.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Let's
You
have a
can.
look. Yeah,
Yes.
and we're recording okay, I think, as well. Yeah, we got it, mate. Off you go.
Okay, well, yeah, thanks, Peter, for handing over that, and I'm sorry about that, but we're online again now, so that's good. So I want to talk about automation and how it can be magic for your business. I will just say I wanted a little bit of fun, first of all. So about 60 seconds of absolute silence, and I'll let this run for you, and hopefully you'll see the benefits at the end. You're all thinking of a card? Okay, so just a little bit of fun, really. Really, the purpose of that was to show that you can actually take some action, or your business can be doing something for you when you're not actually there. And that's what I mean by automation, really. And I'm sure you all use automation in one form or another to try and support your business, but it's becoming more and more important. It's evident from various reports and surveys that's done, that the customer experience, and I bang on about this on most of my presentations, customer experience and the experience they have with dealing with us all as businesses is the new battlefront going forward now. And price is less important than the buying experience, it appears. And one of the things that can help customer experience for your business is automation and technology. But the problem with that is that technology moves on at such a pace that if we're not right at the forefront of technology helping our business right now, it's only going to get worse. The gap is going to get bigger, and that your competitors are going to get basically a run on you as a business. So it's important to just try and keep pace, automate what you can, and make life easier for yourselves and your customers. And if you think about all the things we get involved in, things like networking and email marketing and social media and all that sort of stuff, we're either dealing with that technology ourselves, or we're outsourcing it and paying for that service from other companies. And what I wanted to try and do today was to really just give you some seeds of ideas that you could take away and develop yourselves in your business. And really, I'm just going to touch on 4 areas. One is about automating mass personalization, which is kind of a bit of a contradiction in a way. Automate ways to attract timely bill payment, might be of interest to us as businesses, getting our money in early. Turn prospective customers into paying ones and leverage existing customer relationships where we can. So what forms of automation might we be able to use? But before I do that, I just wanted to try and set the scene so that we're all on the same page. And in terms of the systems that we tend to use and what they're called these days, there are 3 main systems that you'll use for your business. One of them is hard systems, which is anything that's physical. So it's kind of your phone on the desk, the mobile phone, your laptop, your PC, all that sort of good stuff, even down to the broadband. Then you've got soft systems, which is the software that sits on those devices and makes things actually work for you. And then information systems, which is where your information is held. So that might be on your office server, might be in a data center somewhere. And what's been happening over the last few years is, of course, all of this is being migrated into the cloud. And the names have been changed slightly now. So we see things like IaaS, or infrastructure as a service. We see things like SaaS, which most of us will know really. And a good example of that is Microsoft Office 365. So it's software as a service based in the cloud. And the information systems have now become ITaaS. And there are a lot more of these acronyms in the technology industry, but suffice to say, they're all pretty much moving into the cloud now. And the one good thing about that is that if we want to automate something, we have to first integrate the platforms. And that's where life gets easier when it's in the cloud. Oh, not sure what that is, but so it becomes easier when it's in the cloud. And I'll give you some examples of where this sort of technology can be leveraged. So CRM, for example, customer relationship management. I guess most of you are familiar with what that is. And I get asked a lot about what's the best CRM software for my business. And one of the first things I have to try and correct for people is that CRM really isn't a piece of software, it's a state of mind. The software element, if you will, is really what makes that, what helps or articulates your frame of mind towards your customers. So customer relationship management really should be first and foremost your train of thought, how you want to deal with your customers, and any software package or CRM platform that sits in the cloud needs to also be central to your business. So if you think about it in this way, CRM shouldn't really be seen as a mere database, because a lot of customers do say to me as well that they want CRM just to manage their customer prospects. Of course, you can do that on a spreadsheet. You don't need CRM to do that. But what you do as a business, you'll have all of these back office systems that you'll be using day to day. So it might be an email platform, and it may even be letters that you're sending out on a day-to-day basis. You print the letter out, you put it in an envelope, you send it to the customer. It might be customer support software. So that could be fault ticketing for a service support company, for example. Might be signatures, it might be the ability to send out an order form and get it signed electronically. Marketing automation, social media, for example, or it might be your accounts package, something like Xero. And the beauty of these platforms is that it can be integrated into CRM. So that now means that your central database or customer base can be what I call one truth. It's the right address, the right customer name, the right email address, etc., that all of the other systems feed off. And it just means that any alterations that are made to your customer record is centralized and kept consistent throughout all your platforms. So integrating all of those together then helps you to start to think about automating tasks. And it gives you a very rich, meaningful set of information about your current clients and the clients to be, the ones that you want to win from perhaps your marketing automation exercise or your email campaigns and that sort of thing. And it also gives you a 360-degree view of your customer. And I'll give you an example where that might be useful. Customer rings in and they want to buy £10,000 worth of product from you. However, if you can see on that customer record that actually in your finance and accounting package, that they currently owe you £10,000 for services rendered previously, that might alter the conversation you've got with the customer. The second thing I wanted to bring up here as well is the fact that if you imagine the sales process where you've sent out your email, customers visited the website, it's updated your CRM platform from the website visit, you've had the conversation, you've sent out the order for the customer's signed it, come back, the customer record has now got a copy of the order form attached to it. Information's gone into the finance and accounting package and you've sent them an invoice. And you could then also add an automated process to send out an email automatically 7 days before that invoice is due for payment, just reminding them that payment's due, this is how much it is, this is the invoice number, we look forward to receiving your payment. So the whole thing, the whole journey, if you like, can be made much simpler without no real intervention from yourselves if you've got it set up throughout this kind of setup here. So that's a little bit about automating, and it is very much in a nutshell, but automating how you could chase up invoices before they actually become due. So that's CRM and what that might be able to do for you. And the second thing I wanted to cover was something called engagement channels. And for those of you who've seen me present before, you know I talk about multiple channels of engagement with customers. That's quite important because each customer is different. We might have an ideal customer we want to deal with, but age ranges, for example, will change dramatically. So, for example, me as a baby boomer, I will much prefer to deal with a company that gives me a telephone number, a landline phone number to ring if I've got a query or a question or want to buy something. Whereas if you're a younger generation, you may prefer to use text or messaging, email, and the third choice or fourth choice might be the telephone. So we need to think about that. And it would be a bit remiss of me if I didn't mention one of the products that I do called Click2, which allows me to do that from my CRM platform. So here, for example, I can automate things like I can automate sending out email or SMS texts if I'm doing a marketing campaign. But a good example of where it worked for me recently was I've just done some business with a company up in Bradford. And it was clear from the beginning that although I'd had a telephone conversation to scope the requirement for what the customer wanted, that subsequent communication tended to be done by SMS, texting in other words, or email. And this platform allows me to do that. So I can go into my CRM record for the customer, I can type up the information that I want to get to them and then decide, is it short enough to send by text or should I send it by email? Or actually, if it's a document that needs to go and it's hard copy, perhaps I can just do a mail merge on a Word doc, send it into the cloud and have somebody else put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it and send it for me. So that's the sort of thing you can do with being able to integrate these platforms together. If you want to know more about Click 2, give me a call and I'll show you what it does. And it helps for this sort of thing called mass personalization. And the only way I can describe this really is a little bit akin to using a word processing service and have it do a mail merge. And this is an example of where that can be done on an email. So I received this email recently. It's a genuine email. It's from a lady by the name of Jenny.R, so not terribly personal, but it came into me and it said business proposal 2021. And it kind of just piqued a bit of interest. I thought I'll have a look at that and see what it is. And the first thing I got on there was that blue bar across the top there. And it says, send a read receipt. And then it explains that the sender would like to be notified when I've read the email. There's two things with this. One, it could have been a phishing email, in which case there's no way I'm going to click that link. And the second thing is, actually, if it was a genuine email, then the minute I click that link, they know that I've seen the email and I'm going to get a phone call, which might not be appropriate at this time. So I did carry on reading because I knew I was going to be doing this technology slot. And I thought, well, what else does the email say, and how might I have improved it if I'd written the same sort of thing? And so these were the bits I picked out. No personalization here, it just says hi. It then goes on to say, I found your contact in LinkedIn. So in other words, she fell over my name and company on LinkedIn and decided to email me on the off chance that I might buy a set of customer data. And then ended up saying, kindly let me have your requirement, as if. So the last thing on there was, because I like to talk to people and I like to talk to them locally if I can, there's no local phone number on there. It's obviously an international number. So clearly it was an X in every box for me on that one. So I thought, well, could I have changed that to look a little bit better? And this is what I came up with. Not saying it's a brilliant email. I'm just saying it's done differently and might have stood a better chance with me. But using a mail merge on email means that you can automate adding in, for example, my name could have been added in there. That would pique the interest even more. And on the first line, get rid of the click to the sender and instead actually fill in the gaps now that says, this is the type of business I am. So if I got my customer record was in the CRM, it would say who I am, my address, it would say what I actually do as a business, and I would have put that in there. So as a communications advisor, which I am, and the company, my company here, that would have piqued a lot more interest on the first line. And going through this, you could have put the first name in, hi Marvin, a bit more personal. She might even have reflected where she'd seen me or made contact with me, which could have been on LinkedIn, or it might have been a family business practice event. And all of a sudden, it's a lot warmer, and I'm a lot warmer to this email than previously. And of course, if you've got a UK telephone number, that certainly would have helped. So that's, by doing this, this is a way of automating en masse if you were doing an email campaign. I'm sure some of you already do this. So I'm sorry if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but it is a really, really good way of trying to make something a little bit more personal when the email hits your inbox, or their inbox, I should say. So that's an example of where automation or mass automation can help. And the final one I just wanted to cover, and I think Dave was on the call somewhere, Dr. Dave, is integrate to automate in terms of keep them chatting. And this isn't treading on Dave's toes. I have a number of suppliers that provide something called chatbots, and I'm sure you're probably mostly familiar with these. But chatbots are a conversational agent, albeit a robot, but it's a conversational agent that was originally developed for doing things like customer surveys, again, en masse. But it's developed into being able to do other things for you. And it's really good if you've got this on your website, because what it does very cleverly holds people to your website. And again, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a car leasing company about 12 months ago now. One of the problems they had was they get a lot of visitors to the website, mostly after hours. But as we all know, 98% of visitors won't actually inquire with you. So they tended to come, have a mooch around the website and go. So they said, how can we engage people, spend a bit more time on the website and actually collect information from them? And so this is what I suggested at the time. So chatbots really will be able to pop up in front of the visitor to the website and start to engage. And you can do all sorts of things with them. You can make sales, you can develop a better customer service, you can take them through a customer satisfaction survey if you directed your customer to that. Even answer frequently asked questions as well. And of course, the main points really being things like booking appointments for you when you're not there, increase webinar views, and even grow your email list and your marketing list. And where that might work, for example, is if somebody's come on board, they've opened up the chatbot, and the first thing it says, "Hi, I'm Ricky, the chatbot. What's your name, please?" And the chances are the customer will actually put the name in, and then it might say something along the lines of, may I ask what this is my email address, should you require further information at a later stage, may I ask what your email address is? And again, the chances are they will actually put the detail in, and then it will ask, how can we help you? And subsequently go through the process of helping the customer to gain the information they want within the website. So all the time updating the email or database of emails that they can use later and make contact with that customer should they not have had the conversation yet. So chatbots is a really good way of automating and engaging with clients if you're not actually there, because it works 24/7. So it's a really good way of doing things. So from an automation perspective, what I'd say to you is it is magic for your business. And if you can make automation generate incremental cash for you, it's got to be a good thing to try and drive better customer experience. So that's a little bit about automation. I hope it was of interest. I hope it stimulates some ideas, and please ask any questions if you've got any.
Thanks, Marvin. Can we just want to share the screen? That's brilliant. Thank you. And I'm just going to stop recording for a second. Yeah, okay.